Kayak gets my flight, hotel, and rental car right, so I can tune out travel advice that's just plain wrong.
Bro, Skycoin. Way better than points.
Never fly during a Scorpio full moon.
Just tell the manager you'll sue. Instant room upgrade.
Stop taking bad travel advice. Start comparing hundreds of sites with Kayak and get your trip right.
Bad advice? You talking to me?
Kayak. Got that right.
Welcome to the RuPaul's Drag Race Recap Show for Season 18, Episode 13, titled Karen's Gone Wild. My name's Joe Batanz, and I am joined, as always, by one Aussie Karen from Bravo, effing Bravo. Please say hello to Mr. Nathan Patrick Brown. Hello, Nathan.
Hey, Joe. You know, there is a name for an Aussie Karen, but I can't remember what it is. Now it's going to bug me. Could be. I don't know. Anyway, that was a flop start to the episode. Whatever.
Speaking of flop starts, if you want to hear Nathan, and I know you're not going to believe me when I say this, tell a story about birds, you're going to want to go over to patreon.com. No, I got to fix that. See, that's one of my Patreon things I can do now. I can make it pretty soon, afterthought.media. But patreon.com/afterthoughtmedia. Go to Patreon, look up Drag Race Recap, look up Afterthought Media, go on Apple Podcasts. There's so many ways to sign up. So many ways. And you can do all those right there at patreon.com/afterthoughtmedia. So much content coming your way. You know what? There's some surprise content, I believe, coming your way this week.
Really?
Yes, but it'll be in the public feed too, just after the Patreon gets it.
You know what? We just call Karens. I don't know what I was thinking. I deluded myself there. You know how like ChatGPT will make you hallucinate and lie to you? I do that to myself sometimes.
Well, no, wait, hold on. They have a correction here. ChatGPT doesn't make you hallucinate. It hallucinates.
Oh, I thought I was hallucinating.
Yeah, sometimes I think you are. Anyway, Nathan Patrick Brown, how are you? How the hell are you?
I'm doing pretty good, thanks, Joe. How about you?
I know you're all smiles today.
I just, trying to keep it upbeat and positive and
You're definitely keeping it up deep. If you listen to Just Between Us Girls, you know what he's talking about. But also upbeat. This Brazilian boy, does he know you do a podcast?
No. Well, he knows I'm doing one now, so we can't talk about it because...
Does he know what the podcast is?
No, but what if he asks and I tell him, and then he'll listen?
What you haven't said anything wrong? Have you?
No, but I don't like to talk about my personal life.
I'm not taking that out. I'm keeping that in. Anyway, this week the girls participate in a revived edition of the Puppet Mini Challenge. For the Maxi Challenge, the girls must perform as Karens in improvised comedy sketches with RuPaul. On the main stage, the category was from Wholesome to Folsom. In the end, Mikey Meeks was named the winner of the challenge, while Jane Don't and Nene Coco were placed in the bottom two, forcing them to face off in a lip-sync battle for their lives. After all was said and done, Nene Coco was told Shantae, you stay, while Jane Don't was asked to sashay away. Nathan Patrick Brown, name two things you liked about the episode and one thing you did not.
I'd be delighted to. So the first thing I liked was the runway. I thought it was a really fun category, and I liked the juxtaposition between Wholesome and Folsom. I just really like 2-in-1 looks, and I thought there were some great looks. Mm-hmm. And the other thing I really, really, really like, it's very mean-spirited of me, but this Jane going home is so juicy and delicious. Yeah. I think it is such a fuck you to like the fan base that really care about track record, and I just love that it's unexpected.
That's a good way of thinking about it. I never thought about that. You're right. That is a good angle, that it's a big fuck you to the people who obsess about track record.
Yes. And like it felt like an episode 9 of Game of Thrones, where like it's a red wedding, like we're just going to knife someone in the back.
Well, episode 9 of season 3, I believe, right?
Yeah, but like every episode 9, something crazy would happen, like usually. So I'm just like, this is it. This is crazy. Yeah. And I loved that. I loved that, like, that came at the expense of someone I didn't like already. This is why I'm grinning so much. It's so mean of me, though. And the thing I didn't like would be the puppets. And my thinking is that these 5 queens that we have left are just like, they're not characters. You know what I mean? Like they haven't had many iconic moments that define them as individuals. So like, what can you do when you're doing a puppet show, like tribute to them or doing like a parody of them? Like there's nothing there's nothing there. And I just think they're not interesting enough yet to parody. And I think that's kind of a problem now that like some of those interesting characters have gone home, like a Discord or like, you know, even an Athena or a Kenya. All those people are gone now. And I feel like the episodes are getting a bit more boring because these queens are kind of dull.
So I'll just say this now. I have in my note section, I have a part that's random. It just says random notes. And usually, I don't usually have any, by the way, but this time I do. We pre-recorded Rulaska Thoughts because of Robert's schedule. So I know I mentioned one of them on Rulaska Thoughts, so stay tuned for that. But the other one I'll mention is I saw someone on Reddit. This is coming back to your puppets thing. I saw someone on Reddit mention that the reason they think the lip syncs haven't been very good is because of this relatively new thing. It may have happened last season, but where the queens can all visit each other in this little commune they live in now. And so that now, because they're not isolated, they can hang out, they can kiki, and this is why we're having all these inside jokes we're not aware of. And then also, though, it's one of these things where they don't, when they were alone in their hotel room, they had nothing better to do than to practice their lip sync because they were so isolated,
Okay.
But now that they can hang out, they're not as isolated, So this could be another reason why a lot of these challenges like Snatch Game and the Reading Challenge and all these have fallen flat is all the time that the queens would have been spent working on that and perfecting that and thinking about it, they're not doing that anymore. However, if the queens were smart, now that they haven't done a puppet challenge, this is the first time I think in like 5 or 6 years that they've done a puppet challenge.
Oh, has it been that long?
Yeah, it has been. They wouldn't have prepped for it. But if they were smart, these queens would get together and practice their reading challenges with each other. They would practice their lip sync. Maybe not their lip syncs. They may want to keep that secret. But practice their reading challenges, practice the puppet show, practice all that stuff so that they workshop it so that when they come to the final thing, it's ready to go. And it would make for a better episode.
Yeah, that's a good point. But I just don't think, like, even if they did practice and workshop it, like, what are you going to say about Mikey Meeks? What can they reference?
Well, I don't know because, again, here's the deal, is they're getting... So it also explains... Remember, I said this earlier in the season before I knew that they lived in a commune together now, is I said one of the things that's very endearing about this season is how tight-knit and close this cast is, And so... the reason I think the problem is before the queens would get to know each other on camera. And so everything they would say about each other, unless they edited it out, we would have seen it, But now I think there's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes that we don't know about. That's where I think a lot of this Nene Coco stuff is coming from. There, like for instance, there was an inside joke they said on the maybe you can explain it to me. But when they came in with the funny hats,
oh no, didn't get it.
And Juicy said, "I'm a baby," and they were like, "No, don't say that, don't say that." Do you get that?
Yeah, that's a reference to Ariadne's. Was it Snatch Game where she was Cupid and she was like, "I'm just a baby." So the
only thing I could think of was that Fred Armisen sketch where he goes.
Well, that's sort of what Ariadne was ripping off of anyway, right?
Oh, okay. I don't remember.
So I think it was just like, oh, we're making fun of Ariadne a year later, even though I'd already forgotten about Ariadne.
No, but they're not a year later. When they're recording this, it's only a couple of months. So this still would have been fresh in their brains.
Right.
So, okay, so that makes sense. But what I'm saying is we'll go back to the Nene stuff. The Nene stuff is clearly stuff that's happening very off camera that we don't know about. Like when the cameras are off, Nee decides to be a shady cunt and we don't see it, right? And so I'm sure there's stuff about Mikey that we don't know about. That I don't know. It was very, very strange.
Yeah, I just didn't know why they were wearing hats.
Because again, they're like, "Oh, this is gonna be hilarious." You think it'd be hilarious if we all wear funny hats?
I
But that
think
just
they're boring.
comes from this new era of Drag Race where, like, okay. So my ex Aiden, okay, one of his favorite moments in the history of Drag Race is on season 3
Okay.
when the girls walk into the workroom. He loves that Stacey Lane Matthews just walks in and goes, "Hi." Right? He thinks that's so funny, right?
Yeah.
Because she just opens the door and goes, "Hi." And he thinks it's so hilarious, right? So there was a time where people didn't have like catchphrases or anything that they said, right? And as the show evolves, people start saying catchphrases and doing things. And so it used to be that people just walked into the fucking room like a normal goddamn human being, right? But now there's productions and dance numbers and they're posing like Charlie's Angels and they're coming in with funny hats. And I'm like, just walk in the fucking room.
Just walk in. Yeah, I just miss fights. I just want to fight.
I think the fights are either going to happen off screen now or they're going to happen less and less because they get to know each other.
Well, put them back on ice. I don't like this.
Well, I think on ice, what you're referring to, I think could be a very specific production thing so that when they're on set, they probably are on ice when their cameras aren't rolling. But there's no way to control them when they're,
Well, they used to lock them in hotels.
There must have been some sort of mental. Well, no, but before season 4 or up to season 5, they were allowed to still talk to each other.
And we still had good drama then, didn't we?
Yeah, because remember that there's a thing where they would sneak off campus and they would hang out. It was when Willem got eliminated or disqualified because people were coming to visit. And then there was this and then it got even worse with Pearl when she was fucking one of the producers. And so they just put the kibosh for a long time. But I think there must have been some sort of mental health concern or something.
Oh,
that
gosh.
They were like, you know what? Well, since they moved studios too, they don't have to put them in a hotel. They have the space to put them on the lot, and so
put them in a house with cameras and just like turn that into Untucked because Untucks have just been so dull.
That would be a good idea, but World of Wonder is too cheap and doesn't care. All right, on that note, we're gonna take a break. When we come back, we're gonna actually talk about the episode.
At DSW, we ask the important questions, like, what shoes are you going to wear? Whether you're prepping for wedding season, festival season, or just planning the ultimate vacay, the right shoes can make or break an RSVP. So own the moment. You've got big plans, and we've got just the shoes, at the perfect price, of course. Get ready to get ready with Designer Shoe Warehouse. Head to your DSW store or dsw.com today, and let us surprise you.
Get ready with me for day 5 of my Pilates challenge and then a casual work from home day. I really want to be comfy today, so I'm going to go with my new Steady State set from Lululemon. I went for the matching hoodie and sweats. I love layering them over workout clothes, especially for early morning classes. The fabric, I believe it's called Superloft, is so soft on the outside and fleecy on the inside. Obsessed. Anyway, that's the vibe for today. See you next time. Shop the new Steady State Superloft now at Lululemon.com.
Picture this, a curve in the road, a change in plans. Well, what do you say? With the all-new Audi Q3, the answer's always yes. Yes to adventure. Yes to escape. Yes to performance. Yes to comfort. Yes to right now. Because saying yes without hesitation, that's real luxury. The all-new Audi Q3, made for the yes life.
And we are back. After Discord's elimination, the girls enter the workroom to decompress and de-drag. Lots of emotions abound in the workroom, and the girls are ready to share them. The next day, the girls enter the workroom wearing funny hats, just as RuPaul entered the workroom to announce this week's mini challenge. It's a puppet show. One by one, the girls randomly select a puppet that represents one of their sisters. When they get some time to make them up in a funny... Then they get some time to make them up in a funny interpretation of the queens in drag. Next, each girl went up to the stage and presented a puppet show with their puppets. An unimpressed RuPaul selected no winner and instead divided the prize among the crew members. All right, let's go piece by piece. After the elimination, any big notes, Nathan?
No, they're just talking about streaks, which is ironic because it's the episode where streaks don't matter. So it was a waste of time.
Jane does say, I don't want to be anywhere near the bottom again. And I was like, ooh, bitch.
Oh,
You're not going to be near it. You're going to go way past it, not the door. Okay, the mini challenge. I know we kind of discussed it, but did you have any other thoughts specifically about the mini challenge?
The puppets themselves looked good. They just had nothing to say. And I think it is funny that Ru was giving them nooch and decided to pay the crew. Although I wonder if the crew will actually get that money. And from what I saw, there was at least 7 crew members present. So that means they're getting like $350 each. Like, I just don't think it's ever actually going to happen.
I have a feeling Robert will address this on Rulaska Thoughts.
Oh, fantastic. And also, I don't know if, again, I'm hallucinating because of ChatGPT or something, but like my brain's broken and I actually think that Stop That Train movie looks fun.
Robert did the same thing. I think it looks horrible.
No.
I think it looks fun for me to make fun of on Hallmark Homos with Lori.
Yes. See, that's good. That's part of the fun. I'm excited. I want to go see it in cinema.
Oh my God. Maybe you're giving the reason why they think it's going to do well. Okay. I've always thought this, but this episode actually sort of convinced me. I don't feel the girls reach into a bin of puppets. I think someone behind there just hands them a puppet, the puppet they're supposed to have.
Agreed. Yeah. There
was never more proof in that if you watch Nini's hand is in there for about a millisecond. Like there's no reaching. It's like it goes in a little bit and she comes out with a puppet.
Well, she was the last one, wasn't she? So it's like there's only going to be one puppet anyway.
Yeah, I don't know. No. Jane was the last one.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Okay. Darlene. I feel this is one of these things that people are going to learn their lesson after she's a huge hit and she goes on the road and the shows. I feel she has no content and now she thinks every time just being cute and laughy will fix it. And I don't think she realized that's like a one-time thing. Nathan's grimacing. Why?
For me, it fixed it. I laughed. She's the only one I laughed at because she was like, wow, 2 minutes is long. I was like, that's funny. And you know what? I want her to win.
Okay.
I want her to win this show.
Noted. And then Jane's like, of course I get Nene who gives nothing. So how are you supposed to make that funny? And I'm like, they record these after so that now she's scrambling to explain why she wasn't hilarious and she's blaming it on Nene. For weeks, you guys have been talking about what a fucking shady cunt she is. And now all of a sudden, she gives you nothing.
Yes. And also, like, you recorded these after, but like Jane talking about the others was like, well, they're bombing. She bombed. And I'm like, you bombed too. And you're recording this after the fact. So it's kind of weird that you're saying that.
Yeah.
And also, like, the Nene's a cunt narrative. I feel 100% of that's coming from Jane. Maybe 98% of that's come from Jane. Like, we haven't seen any evidence. This is all just Jane putting that out there. And I show me the receipts.
Yeah, you're right. We never seen it. All right. Anything else?
No.
It was a horrible puppet show. It might not ever come back. They may have ruined the puppet show. For this week's Maxi Challenge, the girls will participate in an improv sketch challenge called Karen's Gone Wild. Each queen will channel a different Karen whose antics are caught on camera. Then each queen will film their scenes with RuPaul. In the workroom, the queens get to work on the challenge. Each queen gets their first choice, and no one fights for the same role. Jane plans to take her Karen in a different direction in order to avoid cliches. Meanwhile, Juicy hopes to learn from her mistakes and deliver on her character. Next, RuPaul entered the workroom for some table visits. The girls share what Karen videos they've seen, and Ru gives advice on how to deliver the best performance. All right, let's take this piece by piece. We have the Maxi Challenge announcement and the workroom. Any big thoughts there?
Just that it's super boring that none of them wanted to fight over roles. Like,
No,
I was like,
I think it's
well,
boring when they fight over it now. I was glad they didn't.
I love a fight.
Because it's not real. I mean, I think, like, oh, thank God they're not doing this again. I was actually kind of relieved.
Now, if Vita was there, she would have, like, fake pretended to want a different role.
Yeah.
Like, there would have been something for us to at least talk about.
Mm-hmm.
I got nothing to talk about.
Yeah, I said last week, I said, these are the fewest number of notes that I've ever had in my entire life. I beat it this week.
Yeah, I beat it this week.
Yeah. There's just really not much to it. I mean, that doesn't mean it's not pleasant. It just means it's become like a Hallmark movie. You know, like, well, no, because Hallmark movies often have like stupid shit that make no sense. I don't know. It's just like a greeting card. You know, like, what do you say about a greeting card?
Well, did you like the idea of this challenge? Like, do you like Karen videos?
I think that's a good question. I think it's a good idea for a challenge. However, half the people in these videos weren't Karens. Mm-hmm. Also, what's funny is in the workroom, somebody was like, "Oh, I'm gonna do the Bath and Body Works candle lady." I'm like, "Oh, that'd be hilarious." Never did her. Who's the one that said that?
I don't know.
Well, here's the deal. Here's the problem with the Bath and Body Works, Karen.
Can you explain who she is?
Oh, you don't know who she is?
No.
Oh, so there's this iconic video. I think it just turned 10 years old. I think she did something for it. It's this woman. I'll send it to you, Nathan. If you guys haven't watched it, maybe I'll post a video on Discord, right? But it's this lady. I do love this fucking video. And then before I even say it, like a year or two ago, there was this trend of people who would lip sync the entire video word for word. And I want to say it's 10 minutes. The video is a woman talking to camera about a very frustrating trip she had when she went to Bath and Body Works to buy a specific candle. A peach Bellini, I think it was. Right? I don't remember what it was. And she'd been looking for this specific candle. And she called this specific Bath and Body Works. I'm going to tell you more about it in a second. And they told her it was there. So she hauled her ass all the way, I guess it was a far away Bath and Body Works from her, to this Bath and Body Works. And the manager, Jen, was like, "Oh, sorry, we made a mistake. We don't have that." And the chick was pissed off. And then she asked, "Well, can I get a discount? Because I came all the way?" And they're like, "No." Right? That's the basics of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's some more layers. This woman is like, looks like a Midwestern mom. Okay, one. Mm-hmm. Two, she comes from Wisconsin. This all takes place in Wisconsin. So there's two funny things. There's that Northern America accent, Wisconsin, Minnesota accent. That's very funny. On top of that, she's naming cities in Wisconsin that are very funny names.
Okay.
Right? And then she's just so angry about it. Here's the weird thing with that one, though. Yes, 100% this woman is a Karen. Yes, everything. Yes, 100%. However, this is one of the few times where you're kind of rooting for her. I don't really know how to explain it. She's just so iconic that you kind of love her,
Okay.
And so, yeah, but, okay, so there's that one. Did you know the whole, like, Joe Anderson thing that they were doing with let's go when we go through it. Okay. All right, so let me see. Oh, well, here's another one that RuPaul mentions in the table visits. She's like, well, ain't nobody got time for that. The phrase like that. I'm like, but she's not a Karen.
She's not a Karen.
I think RuPaul's Drag Race is interpreting any woman that's on a viral video as a Karen.
Yeah, I see that. And I don't think the table visits were helpful. I think maybe because, well, not that they ever really are, you know what I mean? But like, because Ru was going to be in the skit, Ru could have been more explicit about what actually he was looking for in these skits. Instead, he was very vague. And like, I understand maybe you don't want to like help them too much because that's the challenge. So then get someone else to do the skit. Dare I say like a Michelle? Like
No.
I usually hate having a Michelle, but anyone else other than Ru could have maybe given more advice on how to pick up on Ru's cues than Ru himself. I don't know.
Once again, they have friends of the show. They should have gotten a Drew Droege. They
Sure.
should have gotten what is that guy's name? Mitch. What a guy that does David Copperfield. He's another gay, right? Not David Copperfield, David Blaine on those David Blaine videos.
Any of the gays in Jay's Instagram videos would have been great.
Yeah. Well, a little bigger than those, but yes. The one level up in popularity of those guys. I can't think of I think it's like Mitch something or other. Mitch, Drew Droege, any of those old Groundlings queens, have them in the sketches. Because especially since Drew, I know for a fact, I don't know if Mitch, whatever his name is, does it. But Drew teaches for the Groundlings, you know?
Okay.
So like they would know how to lead them, what to do without necessarily telling them and making it a good scene. You know,
but the thing is, it's like, and Lauren, you touched on this on the big takeaway, is like it's not actual improv, it's Ru improv. So it's like,
yes,
I think even teaching them like the basic rules of improv would have been useless because Ru doesn't know those rules. You know,
yeah,
but Ru thinks he does.
Here's the deal, and I'm actually gonna shocking flatter myself, right? But what I'm saying is, there's a lot to hosting, and you did a good job last week, right?
That's not what you said earlier before we hit record. You were making fun of me.
No, you did a really good job, except I kept fucking telling you don't have to extend the show. We could end at the 30-minute mark, and you were like, let's talk one more time about Jane's outfit. I'm like, and I could see you were looking at the clock because you wanted it to get as close to 45 as possible. Anyway, is when you're hosting a show, there's an added component of like listening more than the actual guest listens, you know, is because you have to listen. Like, when do I have to step in? Is this getting boring? Is it not getting boring? How can I get the person to do what I need them to do subtly and all that stuff? There's a whole bunch of stuff going on, right? It's not saying it's a hard skill. I'm just saying it's a skill. So what I'm saying I'll specifically mention Drew Droege. With Drew Droege, because he's been teaching and whatnot, he would know, okay, I'm going to be the really good person here. And I don't mean good like in a charitable way. I just mean like good at improv. I want this thing to be the best. And I'm going to essentially quietly guide this person into giving us the best content, you know? Mm-hmm. And then you would have had these iconic scenes. But for some reason, RuPaul and Michelle think they are like sketch comedy geniuses. And I rewatched the sketches today, and there's so many times where like these people are flying blind. They don't know what they're doing. And RuPaul is leading them down some wayward path that it was just like, why are you taking them there or stopping something that could be something? It was really odd.
Mm-hmm. But Ru ended up being funnier than all the others. Like, Ru was the funniest one in each skit, which is the problem, yeah.
That is the problem. Like, I brought up Phil Hartman the other on the Big Takeaway, and that's a good example. He would often be in sketches, and he wouldn't be the funny one, but he would make it so that the sketch moved in a way that allowed the person to be funny. Does that make sense?
Yes, and I also loved hearing Laurie and you discuss about Saturday Night Live skits. And I know she doesn't want to hear anyone's perspective on
Saturday she wants to hear her own, right?
But her own is quite good. I want that to be a show.
Yeah, and so really, guys, I really think you should watch what is the name of that sketch? It's the name of the guy who lives in a van down by the river, whatever the guy's name is, right? Motivational speaker, I think it was. You should really watch that sketch, not for Chris Farley, but watch how like Chris Farley is going to this very chaotic place, and the sketch could have completely like gone haywire. Now, by the way, this is an old sketch Chris Farley used to do all the time, but Phil Hartman is keeping it together. And he's really kind of secretly, again, they called him this, the glue that's holding that sketch together. And that's what RuPaul needed to do.
And Ru didn't.
No. She wanted also be funny.
And she was.
I don't think she was that funny. But Robert also liked it too. So you guys both liked it. So essentially then, if you guys both liked it, then it worked.
I liked Ru. I don't think the skits worked.
But then
Ru made me laugh.
That's being a selfish person, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway.
I wonder how she'll do in Stop That Train, coming to theaters soon.
So let's actually talk about these sketches one by one. Juicy loved Dion. She was she did like a Latina, like Sofia Vergara stereotype of like someone who was mad about a parking spot. The Joe Anderson was brought up, which is a good one. That was clearly the inspiration.
Yeah, who is that again?
So there's there's a Karen video. This woman is a Karen. Where there's somebody parked in a spot and this old white lady comes up to the person and it's essentially, you can't park here. And I don't remember why the person can't park there or whatever. And they're like, well, I'm going to park here. And she was like, well, I'm going to have to call the Joe Anderson. And the person's like, I don't know who you're talking about. Well, you're going to see when the Joe Anderson comes out here and whatever. And it's just like really, and everyone like, who the fuck is Joe Anderson? Right?
It was giving me like Real Housewives of Potomac reunion with Robin Dixon, who she would say, I am so glad that Juan Dixon isn't here right now, like her husband. But she'd say the full name each time. Like, I thought it was a reference to that.
No.
Don't know why it would
Joe
be.
Anderson, the Joe Anderson. So let me make a list. We have to post the Joe Anderson video. And by the way, people who are listening, there might be ones that I'm missing references to. So please post them in the Discord along. But then there's the Bath and Body Works, which is I can't believe you haven't seen that one. That is so iconic. I really was downplaying how iconic that one was. Joe Anderson.
Van down by the river.
Oh yeah, I'll put that sketch in there. Van down by the river. Do you know that sketch?
Yeah, I know that sketch. Yeah.
Okay. I actually thought this was horrible. I didn't think Juicy was good at all. I thought it was terrible. And I think Juicy should have been in the bottom.
Really? Why in the bottom? Why terrible?
It wasn't funny. It wasn't good.
Okay, yeah. But if we're coming from it at the perspective where they're all terrible, I think there's some positives for Juicy in that she did use the space. You know, she did some good rail work.
Mm-hmm.
But
it didn't make any sense.
No, it didn't make any sense, but she was a Karen, and also that's points, you know, in this competition with what everyone else did. Mm-hmm. I think Ru, like, T.S. Madison gives a critique where she's like, you got lost in the Miguel of it all, and I'm like, that's because Ru kept saying the same thing over and over again. And like, I feel like
there must have been so Juicy initially is trying to make reference to the Joe Anderson shit, but she's using Miguel, right? And so then Ru, I think, I don't know what's happening there. It's a lot.
But Ru was just like, who's that? And she was like, this person. And Ru goes, who? And she goes, this person. And so I'm like, Ru, you're grinding this to a halt, you know? But, you know, she engaged with Ru a lot more. And Ru engaged back. Like, it felt like it flowed more than some of the others.
All right. Next, we have Darlene Mitchell.
Yeah, not Karen.
Yeah, Shoplifter isn't a Karen.
Yeah, no. It was missing that escalation, you know, where a Karen can really like turn like venomous. Like we never got that. And again with the Ru, like I don't know why Ru was like flirting with her all of a sudden, and like it seems like Ru in every skit wanted to just like twerk and dance.
Yes, it was horrible. Darlene should have been in the bottom, 100%.
You can't say that about everyone.
Don't watch me. I'll do it.
My favorite bit was when Ru was like, maybe we should pray or whatever, and Darlene gets on her knees on the floor to pray, and Ru just does this light little bend. Like Ru was like, I'm not getting on the ground because I won't get back up.
Not, yeah. Yeah, not going to happen. All right, Mikey Meeks.
Okay, I thought she was the most inventive in that she, you know, like there was different things with the window and the car door and the car seat. Like she didn't just sit there and do nothing, you know what I mean? And so she did all she could while in the car and then got out of the car to escalate further. So like I thought in that element it was good. It still wasn't like funny, but like I thought she was maybe the best one.
This is one, and Lori pointed this out, where Ru actively, it was fine. Ruined something that could have been great because Mikey starts to go to a sovereign citizen place and Ru did not pick up on it. What's funny is the whole framing of it, the whole framing of the entire sketch is from a guy who he'll do more than this. He'll do a lot of like police arrests, but a lot of times it's sovereign citizen stuff. Mm-hmm. And it has that look, and he's some sort of like British guy, I think, right? And he'll do that where like the video, and he'll stop the video and he goes like, looks like you weren't getting it right today, right? And then they go back to the video. Michelle was clearly playing that role, and they had it look like his videos where he does that. He plays these videos and he'll stop and comment. And most of the time, those are like sovereign citizen videos, where that's where Mikey's taking it when she says, I'm not driving, I'm traveling. Mm-hmm. Which is a sovereign citizen argument that they'll make, right? And Ru just doesn't know. I think he doesn't know what she's talking about, so he just moves on.
And that's probably why Mikey was so in her head afterwards, being like, I don't know if I did well, because she was probably like, I was putting shit down that Ru wasn't picking up.
Yeah. Because if she would have gone the sovereign citizen route, I would have been like in love. And Lori does too. We love sovereign citizen videos.
Yeah.
Do they have those in Australia, a version of that?
We have some Sovi sets.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Jane, don't.
I felt like Ru was stonewalling her a lot here because Ru just kept saying, baby, the gate is closed, and baby, this plane is gone. And so it's just like, okay, what's she meant to do with that? And she didn't do anything with that. It didn't actually go anywhere. Like, even though she was on the ground rolling around in a meltdown, like it wasn't meltdowny enough. But I don't know what she was meant to do. What was she meant to do here, Joe?
Well, I think the premise is flawed. There's not much you can do. And I think it would take a skilled improver to do something. I think what I would have done is gone like a Bugs Bunny route. What do you think I'm going to say?
I don't know.
So I would have come in and I would have...
had a carrot.
No. I would have come in and tried to come in. You're establishing the scene, right? Like, I'm late. I'm going to be like, please. Like, no. Okay, so I was like, okay. And then come back, but with like a completely different outfit with like hello there. I am
That's
a
funny.
fine gentleman. I am the owner of this airline, and I am asking to be led on, right? And just and then Ru having to engage with these different characters, like she gets denied every single time.
Okay, that's funny.
That's probably the route I would have gone.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's just she didn't end up being super Karen.
I would have loved if she would have done like, but I don't know how she would have done it because it's only one of her. But think about Shelby. Don't think about Shelby. Think about Shelby. Don't forget Shelby. Do you remember that one?
No.
It's these two gays they're from the South. They're at an airport. And one of the gays, they're drunk. Well, one of them is at least very drunk. And they're mad about something. And they start yelling at everybody in the airport because they can't get on or something like that. And the one of them is yelling. And the other one knows he's going to they're going to get arrested or kicked off or can't go on the plane or something like that. So he keeps like yelling at his husband like, stop it. Think about Shelby. Like they're dogs. They're talking about their dogs. Think about Shelby. Okay, that's another one. You haven't seen that one?
No, my algorithm must be not Karen.
That one was
skewed.
very viral too. It was like the two gay, and he's like, I'm gonna be whatever, and he's like, stop it. Think about Shelby. There were just two like older, high-strung gay men from the South. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's so fantastic.
That's what I imagine Adam and his boyfriend are like when they travel.
Adam Burns, you know what? They probably are. They probably are. And I remember Because I think there's 2 dogs. They figured out they're named after characters in Steel Magnolias.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Okay, finally, Nene. Oh, by the way, Jane was horrible. She should have been in the bottom. Nene Coco. Nene Coco.
Yeah, this is the one I watched twice and I zoned out both times. So I don't actually know what went wrong because my brain just could not focus on it. I just thought it was so boring.
This was one that really would have benefited from a more experienced improver because somehow, and I said this on the big takeaway, Nene became the one who was helping RuPaul be the funniest she could be.
She was almost like Phil Hartman in that respect.
Honestly, you're being funny, but kind of, yeah. I mean, she wasn't as good as Phil Hartman, but RuPaul was basically stealing the scene from Nene. And so Nene was basically becoming a helper to whatever character RuPaul was doing. It was very, very strange.
Also, do you guys do Christmas in July in Australia? I mean, in America?
No, why would we?
Oh, because that's a big thing here, Christmas in July.
Yeah,
so
because
when
it's
she was
actually
like
cold.
Yeah, maybe that's why we do it. But like when she was like, it's July. This is not what it should look like in July. July is for the red, white, and blue. I was like, Christmas in July is completely normal.
You would think Ru, who's a big Aussie fan, would know that.
Yeah, well, maybe he's just playing to the audience, that isn't as familiar.
Yeah. Do you guys give gifts and everything Christmas in July?
Nah, it's just a dinner, basically.
A Christmas dinner?
Yeah.
With like what?
Well, like a roast, because, we'll do a roast at Christmas, but then we'll all be like sweating fucking bullets.
Yeah,
because it's too hot for a hot meal.
What is an Aussie Christmas like? A real one, the actual Christmas.
Well, it's hot, and so my family like to do prawns a lot. Like they just like peel a bunch of prawns and have like prawns, but then we also do a roast. Which
that's weird.
I don't get. Yeah, I know.
By the way, and I have a California Christmas, where it's just in the 50s, and we're like, oh my god, it's so cold. That doesn't mean anything to you. Hold on for a second. I don't have my phone. I'm just gonna go 50 degrees. We'll see here. I don't know what that is. Let's see here. 50 degrees Fahrenheit. Here we go. Oh yeah. Where it's like 10 here, and we're like, oh my god, it's so cold.
Oh yeah. We just had a cold snap. I associate Easter with like it's just starting to get a little bit like frosty in the air, and it's nice.
That, man.
Yeah.
Too bad you met this Brazilian guy, because I was gonna say if we got married, I would be there from like when it starts to get cold until it starts to get warm. When is that? What months would I be there?
Yeah, let's say May to August.
Ooh,
maybe May to
great.
September.
Oh, I love that.
August can be very cold. Yeah.
Like here in the United States, California and the Southwest, it's always typically warmer than the rest, but like in the Northeast, it's always much colder. Is that the same way in Australia, or is it all pretty much the same temperature all the time?
I know it's hotter up north.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
Oh, it's right, because you're closer to the
in
poles.
like the desert.
Yeah, because that's closer to the equator. Oh, okay. And so like you are in the colder part of Australia.
Yeah.
Is there anywhere where it snows?
Well, we do. We do have a mountain where it can snow, but it's
But there's no cities where it snows.
No.
Okay. No. All right, it's elimination day, and the girls get ready for the runway. The girls put on their makeup and share their emotions about how they feel about their performances. Any just thoughts here?
Boring.
Yeah, I have no notes. On the main stage, Mikey Meeks is named the winner of the challenge, while Nene Coco and Jane Don't are placed in the bottom two, forcing them to face off in a lip-sync battle for their lives. The song, Garden of Eden by Lady Gaga. In the end, Nene Coco lived to see another day, while Jane Don't was asked to sashay away. Nathan Patrick Brown. Nathan Patrick Brown. Did the right queen win the challenge? Just stopped right there.
Yeah, and also we do have to talk about the runway looks as well. But we don't have to.
All right, we'll come back to it. Let's just work through this.
Okay, the right queen win. Yeah, sure. She was fine.
Were the right two queens in the bottom?
I think so.
No, it should have been all four of them.
or as opposed to, so Mikey should have won.
Mikey wins and
then
the other four in the bottom, yeah.
Okay.
All lip syncing to Garden of Eden. And then did the right queen get home? I think we know your answer for this.
Fuck yeah. I know, yeah. Well, Nene won the lip sync, you know?
She did.
And Jane, but I hate Jane, but like she didn't do anything wrong. Like, this wasn't like a flop episode for her. She didn't do that badly. Like, so I do feel for her in that respect, but I feel for her with this giant grin on my face.
Yeah.
It's a lot of schadenfreude happening over here.
Yeah.
Yeah. What did you think? Do you think she should have stayed because of track record?
No.
Mm-hmm.
No. All right. Well, tell me about this runway.
Well, I touched on it before, but I really liked it. I thought Juicy's Alice in Wonderland into like the cat look, I thought that was really fun. Darlene's first look was like over way too quick and was way too simple, but her piss look, I mean, that was good drag. I thought, like, it was disgusting, but I was like, this is good drag queening from Darlene. Mikey was good. Jane looked nice. It looked like Bette Midler going to Folsom, so that was fun. And then Nene as the Statue of Liberty was my favorite. I thought that was a really cool reveal, and I really enjoyed that.
All right, very good. Well, that's going to do it for this week's episode of RuPaul's Drag Race Recap. What's wrong?
Well, what other thoughts do I have? Okay, I only have a couple more thoughts, Joe, extra thoughts. One was just like, it was, again, Jane was so agog and aghast. It was actually so fun to watch. She was so shell-shocked, and she was bewildered. And I don't think she had actually planned an exit line. And so when she was just like lost for words, I think that was real, and everyone was laughing as if she'd planned that. But I don't think that was planned. But I do feel bad now for whoever ends up winning this season, because everyone's just going to be like, well, Jane was robbed. Jane should have won. Jane should have won. And they're never going to be able to like actually enjoy their win because of that. I think they're going to, yeah. It's the same thing with Sasha and Shay. You know, the Shay was robbed storyline that everyone ran with for fucking years, and she ran with. The same thing's going to happen with Jane. And when she comes to an All-Stars, she's going to be even more insufferable, being like, I should have won my season. And it's just going to piss me off. But I am happy. Well, that's going to do it for this week.
This is going to do it for this week's episode of RuPaul's Drag Race Recap. Be sure to join us next week.
Do you want me to fill
don't
in?
Don't you have a Brazilian to go to?
I know, so let's wrap it up. We're at 45 minutes.
I know.
We hit my goal.
I know. Be sure to join us next week and every week as we continue to discuss, dissect, and deconstruct each brand new episode of RuPaul's Drag Race Season 18. So for Nathan Patrick Brown and myself,
Banana,
come to Brazil.
Thank you for listening to Drag Race Recap, part of the Afterthought Media Network. If you love this episode, be sure to follow the show wherever you get your podcasts and leave us a 5-star rating and review. It really helps us grow. For bonus episodes, early releases, and exclusive content, join us at patreon.com/afterthoughtmedia. Special thanks to these expensive tier Patreon supporters: Supernova Ghoul, Braxton Cahill, Polly Amory, Graham Crackers, Little Delicious, Mike Yeager, Efren Barboza, Pilskit Pony, Scott Dreyer, Myra FG, Emily Tully, Travi Cosmos, Tom Baum, Jackie Chirinos, Mary Shine, Lucy Carrasco, Astute Girl, Dave, Alona, Runner Brandon, Humble Pie, E. Smith, J. Thomas Plank, Nikki Pettit, Trots Away, Doofus Maximus, Annekins, Kathy Zender, Nikki Baker, Peter, Derek Byers, Clinton Williamson, Coco San Pedro, Poppy Woods, Jazzy Ray, Lauren Eckert, Brad Coley, Katie Whitmire, AJ Norris, and Sarah Yu. Drag Race Recap is an Afterthought Media podcast.
Hi, Hi, I'm Rebecca Ford, Senior Awards Correspondent at Vanity Fair and co-host of Little Gold Men. Oscar season is upon us. Little Gold Men takes you behind the scenes of the race for the biggest prize in Hollywood.
There's 100 wrestlers in the room, but only one can be Oscar nominated.
Whether you're a movie lover or an industry buff, Little Gold Men from Vanity Fair has everything you need to know about this year's Oscar race. Follow and listen to Little Gold Men wherever you get your podcasts.